Hello, this must be Benard Bii. I want to believe so. Maybe you can provide proof of identity. Honorable members, this is Benard Bii. I have confirmed through his original ID, and it looks like it's the more recent ID card. Honorable members like Paul Chirchir, I encourage you to maybe you need to look at this ID, because the one that I saw, yours, I think it's you must have taken it during your high school time. So, this is an ID. So allow me nominee to circulate it to some of the members here, because some of us are analog. Perhaps we can acquaint ourselves. There is a new generation of ID, specifically Paul Chirchir. You can have a look at it. You can clearly see the face of the nominee. Yes. He must have lost his original ID. Okay. Thank you very much, Benard Bii. You are welcome. Clerk, please administer the oath so that we can proceed.
I, Benard Bii.
It's not audible. Sergeant at Arms, please.
I, Benard Bii, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benard Bii. Please take your seat and feel free. You are welcome to this session. This will be an interactive session. Meanwhile, you can circulate your original, the academic credentials, plus any other documents that you came with. Please you give it to us so that we can peruse through. Honorable members, we can introduce ourselves to the nominee before us. And I request, as it has been the tradition, declare any interest, if any, if you have any, towards the nominee. Honorable Dominic, you can start from your end.
I'm Dominic Mutai, MCA Kabianga, and I want to declare interest that Ben Bii comes from Kabianga Ward. Asante.
Okay. Honorable, next.
Anita, maybe, CECM Southward. Thank you.
Or maybe from far left, where the mic is. The honorable member for Ainamoi, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Bet Cheriot. I represent the great people of Ainamoi Ward in Ainamoi Sub-County, Kericho County.
My name is David Maritim, MCA Chipseon Ward. Karibu Benard.
Thank you very much, Chairman. My name is Paul Chirchir Tarimbo, MCA Kapsoit Ward, Ainamoi Sub-County, Kericho County, and a member of the Appointments Committee. Karibu sana, Benard.
The Chair, Benard Bii. My name is Kiprotich Rogony. I represent the people of Sigawet Ward in Sigawet Soin constituency, Kericho County. And Chairman, it is normal, or it's good for me to declare interest at this point. Ben Bii is my longtime friend. I schooled with him. I was initiated into manhood with him, and he's been a very close friend. Ben, through the chairman, anything pertaining to this committee has nothing to do with our friendship and everything else. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Maybe before that, honorable members, we must appreciate the fact that Honorable Rogony must be one of the luckiest members of the County Assembly, because the number of interests that he has declared. He is a friend to many. Maybe I will reserve my comments for now. Majority Leader, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. Nominee, congratulations for making it to be nominated at the CEC for Trade and Industrialization. My names are Korir Kipkirui Vincent. I represent the people of Londiani Ward from Kipkelianis sub-county. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Majority. Secretariat, please introduce yourselves to the nominee.
Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Mibe, Deputy Clerk, Legislative Services.
Good afternoon. My name is David Thiongo, Clerk Assistant.
Good afternoon. My name is Kipkurui Benard, Research Officer.
Patricia Koech, Legal Officer.
Patrick Korir, Registry.
Benson Rogony, Hansard Reporter.
Koros Cheriat, Director, Human Resource.
Abraham Langat, Deputy Clerk, Administrative Services.
Kiro Gilbert, Sajanatas.
Maybe you give it to the honorable members who are inside to introduce themselves, because it is important. They may be friends to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Francis Terer, MCA, Cheboinwot, and Chairman Trade.
Good.
My name is Eric Bett, Deputy Speaker and MCA Kipcheboinwot.
My name is Fancy Korir, Deputy Majority Leader, Chaikwad, Friends of Committee.
Thank you. For purposes of record, Benard Bii, the Honorable Fancy is our Iron Lady in this assembly. So maybe she will engage with you at some point in time. So before you, as you have heard, is the appointment committee. My name is Dr. Patrick Mutai. I'm the chairman of this committee. This committee is legally constituted, and as envisaged in our Constitution of Kenya, 2010, County Government Act of 2012, with amendments in 2020, and also as per the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act of 2017. Of course, the mandate of this, as well as also as per our standing orders, County Assembly of Kericho standing orders. The mandate of this committee, basically, is to vet the appointments by the executive. And in this case, you are here as a nominee for trade. That is the County Executive Committee member for Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism and Wildlife, which again is envisaged in Article 179(2) of the Constitution. The rules of engagement in this session is that we expect to be with you for around an hour, depending on the engagements that we have. And secondly, all answers and any matters or questions shall be through the chairman. You feel free. We will be engaging with you just to vet you. We are here to vet you so that the Committee on Appointment can be able to establish whether you fit or you are suitable for the position or for the docket that you have been nominated. And I will request that because of time constraint, the members at some point in time will be able to engage with you, and maybe you will note them down, whatever they are raising, so that you can respond at once. But before then, as per the legislation that I've just talked about, we have an assessment form that forms part of your introduction, and I would request you to introduce yourself comprehensively, from your name, of course, age, marital status, maybe place of birth, your educational background, experience, your experience, and maybe both education and experience relating to the docket that you have been nominated to. As you introduce yourself also, you will tell us, of course, any public offices that you have held, if any, or private, if you have been working with a private. You can also tell us whether you are a member of any professional association, and also if you are a member, maybe you'll tell us the membership. We also expect you to tell us about your employment records, as I've just mentioned, and also the aspect of if in the course of your working life you have ever been given honors and awards. That one you can, be it scholarship, fellowship, honorary degrees, academic or professional honors, you can tell us. Even military awards in this case, if you have one. The other thing that we expect you to touch, so that we save on time, as part of your introduction, is you can be able also, if you can be able to tell us whether you have participated in form of charity works, donations to charity, and if any, amount contributed, time devoted, and maybe the institutions that you have assisted. Thirdly is, the other thing is, you can also tell us whether you have ever been dismissed from previous employments, and also tell us also about, because we have gone through your CV and realize that you have some referees confirmed to this committee, whether they are up to date, especially the contacts, and if we can contact them, whether you have any objection or not, in case we need to clarify some of these issues. Again, you can tell this committee as part of your introduction whether you have published any writings. Those are articles, books, if any, not necessarily enough. And also, as you introduce yourself, having been nominated to this position of this docket of trade, maybe you can tell us any future potential conflicts of interest, if any, that may affect the work that you have been nominated for. And if there is none, you can also tell us, should there be one in future, how will you solve such a conflict? We also request you to tell us whether you have ever been charged in a court of law in the last 3 years, and also whether you have been adversely mentioned in any form of investigatory report, be it by the county assembly, parliament, or any commission. You should not limit yourself to that. Should you feel that we need, there is information that the committee needs to know about you, you are free to share with us. So I'm not limiting it to what I have just read through. So when you are ready, you take your time, then we can start. When you are ready, we will start. Be free, relax. We want to enjoy the conversation with you. you can proceed when you are free, when you are ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Chairman. And in front of you is Mr. Benard Bii, and nominee trade and innovation, industrialization, and tourism and wildlife. And Benard Bii was born in the year 1987, February 28 of 1987, in a small village called Kaplutiet in Kabianga Ward, Belgut, Kericho County. I grew up in the same village and started my education in 1992. That is nursery school. From 1992, I went to Kaplutiet Primary School up to the year 2002, where I sat for my KCPE. Thereafter, and in 2003, and I joined Kapsawut Boys in Buret for my KCSE education, and I cleared in 2006. And when I cleared Form 4 in 2006, in the year 2007, I think I became a bit idle, and that year, I went to Chamji Tea Estate. That is where I went. I seek for employment, and I was given a job as a tea plucker. So in that year, 2007 and then 2008, I was plucking tea. Honorable Kumnyat, Cheptororiet MCA is my witness. He was my colleague. We were plucking together. 2007 and part of 2008. And then after 2008, after struggling, it was not easy. I decided to travel to Nairobi to now look for education. And that 2008, I actually enrolled for Kenya Accounting Technician Certificate, that is KTC. And then I did intermediate and final levels. That is 2008 up to 2010. And then in the year 2011, I enrolled for CPA, that is Certified Public Accountants. I enrolled for CPA Section 1. I did Section 1 and I was exempted Section 2. And in the year 2011, I got a job. I was given an employment in a school called Chepkosilian Secondary School in Cheptororiet Seretut Ward. That is where I worked as a school passer or a school accountant up to date, from 2011, 2012 up to date. I currently work for Chepkosilian Secondary School as a school passer. And apart from working, I decided to go back to school. So in 2011, somewhere 2012, 2013, I joined another college. It was used to be called Kericho Professional College. And I did a diploma in cooperative management. That is NEC. Diploma in cooperative management. And then I cleared. That is 2013. And again, in 2015, I decided again to join university. And I enrolled for Bachelor of Commerce, that is a degree. In 2015, I struggled all through paying fees, struggling with the family. In 2015, 16, 17, and 18, that is where I graduated with a degree in Bachelor of Commerce, Accounting option. This is the time, and I had a family. I had a wife that time, and I still have that wife. So I struggled through trying to manage my work, school work, family, and my education. It was not easy. This is a real hustler. It wasn't easy. So I struggled, and then I graduated in 2018. That is Kisii University. In 2019, immediately after my graduation, I also decided that I will not give up. And I joined again Kabianga University for my master's, MBA in accounting option. So I also went through 2019, 2020, 2021 doing my master's. And I cleared my master's, and I have all the records. I have the certificate for master's, I have the full thesis. It is within you, it is in circulation, and I have publication that was done in India and International Journal of Research in Commerce and Management. That is volume 8, issue number 4, page number 1 to 7 in the month of October to December 2021. That is my publication. And the heading of that publication is Effects of Accounting Information Software. Effects of Accounting Information Software use. The use of accounting information software on service delivery in public secondary schools in Kenya, Kericho County, Kenya. And that is my publication. When I graduated in 2022 March from Masters, I didn't give up. I decided again to join Kabianga University for my PhD. So in May this year, I started another program, PhD program, and I cleared the first term semester. I'll clear the next semester by December, and then maybe research. And during my work in my station, the current station, Chepkosgei Secondary School, I've worked as a school person. And there are so many things that I normally do, given by the school, the duties, from collecting fees from students, making payments which are authorized by the principal, doing tenders. There is a letter again inside that documents for an appointment by the principal as an ad hoc member to a committee which was dealing with tender and procurements. So it is inside that name. And then I also do budgeting for the school. All the budgets for the school, and a budget of 30 million per year. I normally do. Chepkosile Secondary School is a pure day secondary school with a population of 850 students. And when I joined Chepkosile Secondary School in 2011, the school had only 140 students. That was our enrollment when I joined the school. With the support of the board members and the principal, we were able to build the school from a single stream to a 4-stream school as we talk. We have also improved the services. Services rendered to our customers. Our customers at this point are students. So we have improved all the services by automating them, digitizing them. Like when you come to Chepkosile Secondary School, from admission, and that is my work, everything is digital until the time you clear the school Form 4. Everything is digital, and that is my work. When a parent pays school fees, and this thing is not in other schools, even national schools. Go to Kabianga High School, you will not find. When a parent pays school fees, before the receipt is generated out of that printer, there is an already message in the parent cell phone telling the parent, dear, and Fulani, your payment of this amount has been received by Chepkosile Secondary School, and your balance is this one. So it is used for tracking payment of school fees. And I also do NAMIS, National Education Management Information System. This was introduced by the government of Kenya, Ministry of Education, in the year 2018 for the sake of FSC disbursement, for the sake of NHIF. So this is registering students, uploading documents to NAMIS, and doing all those things. And finally, maybe doing NSSF, NHIF pay returns, that is online. And I'm happy to be here today. This is God doing. From being a mayor, school bazaar, to a CEC nominee is not a joke. It is not. I've tried, and I promise you that we will work together. We will work together. I'm a good man. I'm a very good man. For those few who knows me, I'm really a good man. And if at one point, if you approve me, if at one point, if it reach a point where I go to another level, where you will see that this was not the man we know or we knew, just tell me. Bwana Chairman, and as I said, I have one wife and 3 children. I'm a working hard hustler. And during my work, and when you ask about charity, something to do with charity, I normally do. We attend a Rambays, we contribute money, and where I come from, and Honorable Dominic is my witness, we have a group called Kaputiet Development Forum. And we are the members. and we normally give the old 70 years and above every year, blankets and other things. We normally do. Honorable Dominic, I'm sorry, is part of that team. And we also have students that we are paying fees for. Majority. We have many. So I think, Panachama, that is it. And about dismissal, I've never been dismissed from any job. I've never been dismissed. And about referees, I have referees, and their current contacts are in that list, so they can be contacted. And about conflict of interest. And conflict of interest, maybe for me personally, and as an employee, if you approve me, and I will not accept any gift or any money from maybe a contractor, there will be a conflict of interest if I receive. Number two, I'm not going to engage in any relationship with a junior employee or any senior employee, because it will bring another conflict of interest. Number three, I will not maybe secure a job for my brother or my sister or any other relative. I will not. And then finally, maybe in case of anything, in case of a conflict of interest, I will declare. And Bwana Chair, there is an item on if I've been charged in any court. I've never been charged, or I've never been mentioned in anything which is negative. I've never. So, Bwana Chair, I think that is the end of my introduction.
Thank you very much, Bwana Bii. Now, as you know, as you are heading to become a public officer, it's a requirement that you declare or you have a statement of net worth. I hope you understand what I mean by saying net worth.
Thank you, Bwana Chair. And my net worth is 10 million. This is a net of total assets minus maybe other obligations. So my net worth is 10 million.
You can break that if you don't
comprising
mind.
of 2 cars, a private personal car and one for business, a small pickup, a house worth roughly 2 million, land with tea that is around 2 million, and I have cows and chickens and other small things, coming to a total of 500,000. I have some small shops rentals of 2.5 million, totaling to 10 million, and that is my net worth.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether in your introduction you talked about whether you are affiliated to any political party. and maybe if you hold any position, or whether you participated in campaigns previously.
Okay. Thank you, Bwana Chair. I'm just a member of UDA. Just a member.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know, I'm sorry, I just stepped out, but for purposes of records, have you ever been dismissed before?
I've never. Chair.
Have you ever been adversely associated with practices that depict bias, favorism, or nepotism during your duties?
No, branch.
Did you talk about the referees, whether you, in your CV, you have indicated a number of referees? We hope that the contacts are up to date and we are free to contact them.
Yes.
Or you have any objection?
No, no objection.
All right. Yes. Have you ever been charged in a court of law?
No, I've never.
In the last 3 years? And have you ever been adversely been mentioned in any report?
No.
Sorry. Thanks, Benard Bii, for a comprehensive introduction of yourself. Of course, you have narrated to this committee where you started, and it is indeed going by what you have told us. It is the story of from nobody to somebody, and it is only a prayer that should you be successful, we hope you will live by your word and the promise that you have made to us. Now going to the docket that you have been nominated to. You have been nominated to the docket of trade, industrialization, innovation, tourism, and wildlife. I will just request you maybe to, in general terms, talk about these dockets in relation to our county government, in just general terms, your view about it, and what you will do, or what is this new thing that you will do for us when you are successful, if you shall be successfully be approved by this committee and ratified by the whole county assembly. Just a general comment on that also, so that before I open the floor for other members to interact with you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. And I'm the nominee for trade, innovation, industrialization, tourism, and wildlife. And in my understanding, when we talk about trade is generally businesses. Businesses buying and selling. Trade comprise of markets and so many things. Markets within Kericho County and maybe even outside Kericho. That is trade. And we have traders for trade. And then when I come to innovation, this is a new thing. Innovation is a bit new. This is new ideas or improvement, the existing maybe service or a good or an item. Innovation is doing things or offering service or producing an item or a product in a different way. And industrialization, these are industries within Kericho and even outside Kericho. and we have some. We have industries in Kericho, and tourism again, and this is a department for tourist sites. And for example, Chebululu, yeah, that is one example of a conservancy area for the county government. So that is tourism. Then there is wildlife, and this is an area. I don't know if we have in Kericho, but I'm sure there must be one, or if there is none, we are planning to have one for keeping maybe some few animals for the same purpose. Tourists will be going to see those animals. Yeah, I think that is my knowledge on this department.
Thank you so much, Benard. I shall now open the floor for the members, and I want to start with Dominic, and then I will give it to Rogoy, and then I request you that you note what they are asking so that you can respond them at once. Benard. Dominic.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, Ben, for coming this far. What will you do to assist the hustlers of this county, the Mamambogas, the youth who have a car wash, shoe signers, in terms of how to improve their life and their livelihood? What incentive will you give if this honorable committee and House approve you to be the next CEC of trade? Number two, we have traders along our highway. Some in Ngoina Road, some in Landiani, Kapsoit, Jepseon. What plan do you have for them so that they can get their livelihood and to avoid the risk? If you pass Ngaina Road and this is up and senders, there is a lot of movement up and down. So what plan do you have? Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, thank you. Mr. Bii.
Yes.
In 2008, the government came up with a program called Economic Stimulus Package. Do you know that? It was rolled, there are a number of projects through that program that were rolled out. In my village, in the then Belgut constituency, we have a Karagana that was built. It was built under Trade, Ministry of Trade and Industrialization then. That Karagana was, built. In any case, it was not complete. But there are machines that were brought later. Late machines. They are locked in a box to date. The Department of Trade is devolved. I don't know, what is your strategy? Do you think these Karaganas can be utilized under your reign? Should you be approved? Because your predecessors, if we endorse you, have never stepped in those Karaganas, yet public money has been used. Number two,
yes, Chair, through the Chair,
yes,
please, I need some clarification.
Yes.
On this word Karagana.
Oh, Karagana is Kiswahili word to mean a juakali setup.
A workshop sort of.
A workshop, kind of. You now get the meaning? Okay. So that workshop has equipment. The county has never even gone there. So should we endorse you? I don't know. You tell us what you'll do with that. Then number two, under the Ministry of Local Government, so many markets were built. Let me give you 3 examples. One, Kapkatet market, complete with toilets. They are not used to date, and they are complete. Roret market. In fact, the Roret one is being used as a store. And initially when it was built, it was meant to really get discounted the much needed revenues. I don't know what is your strategy. The Litain one, you know Litain. The Litain markets are not used to date. The women who plies their trade in Litain, they still sell along the road. And just behind where they do their trade, there is markets. Very well built. I don't know. You will have to tell this committee what strategy will you use to ensure that those markets serve the purpose they were designed to, because ultimately it was meant to give us more revenues. Number 3, you talked about Jabulu Conservancy. I want to believe you. I heard you say something close to that. Do you know, as it is in my constituency, in a ward called Kablelartet. It is a white elephant project. I don't know what the county wanted, but because you are now the nominee of a department called tourism. Tourism is into that. And I want to believe Conservancy or Chebulu was meant to be a tourist attraction site. What do you intend to do? Because the governor, in his manifesto, and I want to believe you are alive to the manifesto that the governor gave to the people of Kericho, he cited such a place. Let me hear from you what you intend to do. And in my going through the budget of the county government of Kericho, I came across 2 more tourist attraction sites. One is in Roret Kisiara Ward, a place called Rerezik. And then there is one in Kipkelion West called Bagao.
That is in Ainamoy.
Oh, in Ainamoy.
Yeah.
I thought there is, both of them. Yeah. So there is Bagao, but that one was indicated Kipkelion West. So I don't know. Those are some of the tourist attraction sites that we do not even know. Yet that would be wrecking so much revenues to this county. What is your strategy? Lastly, the governor in his manifesto has given an ambitious program of industrialization. He's talked about the milling of maize. He's talked about the milk processing plant. He's talked about the sweet potato plant, which is so dear to us, the people of Sigawet Soin. Mr. B, are these projects feasible? Are these projects implementable? You tell us. And lastly, it is only in Kericho County where we do not have Juakali sheds. We not Juakali, let me say, border sheds. We do not have the Shushaina sheds. We do not have the Juakali sheds. The border sheds that we have, and I can give you examples. One, in this ward, if this ward is chairman, part of Kipchebar ward, there are 2 projects, one in Kaptebeswet and another one around Ochi. They are somewhere there. Is it Ochi Mailitatu? But that was an initiative of an MCA. It means the department called Trade does not have such programs in their timelines. Should we endorse you, Mr. B? Are you going to be part of those who've never initiated a single project under such prestigious department? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maritim. Honorable Maritim first, and then I'll give to Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Chair. Benard, during the county council era, there was serious collection of revenues since the enforcement officers were thorough on their work. In the recent past, we have witnessed laxity and low generation of own revenues. If approved, what plans will you do? Will you put in place to ensure that we have serious enforcement on revenue collection in our county? Thank you.
Honorable Majority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benard Bii. Now, my question is, because we are in Kenya Kwanza government, and you see there is a term of bottom up, especially in terms of trade. What are your strategies to ensure that the Mama Mboga is thriving in trade within the county? Again, on innovation, within our county, I think we have very brilliant people who are innovative. And I saw a case recently of a youth who has been able to generate power. I think it's around Ainamoi. What will you do to ensure that we tap on that talent and encourage the youth and the society to be innovative enough, and also use that talent maybe to generate business and get licenses and also get revenue at the end. Now, we talk about patents. You see, within Kericho County, there are things that should be patented, because if it is used in any other place, it can generate a lot of income. For example, I saw somebody who did used kiondo, kisiet, and the terms that can be able to sell within our county. What will you do to ensure that products that have identity within our county can be able to be patented? Not only that, the one that I mentioned, but any other. Again, in terms of connecting trade and avoiding flooding of products that are produced within our county, is there any way that you can take advantage of products that come from other places into our county to get revenue that are competitive, that are competing with our products? What will you do to ensure that the products that we have here are selling more than the ones that are coming from other places? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I want to request the nominee, maybe you would attempt to respond to those ones, and then we'll take another set of engagements, comments by the other honorable members. Maybe Benard Bii, you can attempt to respond to those ones.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. And I want to start with an Honourable Rakony question, and on how I will come to assist the hustlers to improve their livelihood.
That was, I think, Honorable Dominic.
Oh, from
yeah.
Honorable Dominic.
Yes.
I'm sorry. From
right.
Honorable Dominic. And for these hustlers, and in our manifesto of the governor, and there is an item on revolving fund, and I think we will come to actualize the revolving fund so that we give out capitals to our youths for business startups. Then, and there are these traders, and Honorable Dominic talked of traders along the highway, especially in Aina Road, Kapsoi, Kapkelek, in short everywhere, all the markets. And he said, these people, these traders are selling along the roads, and there are markets. They already market their stalls for selling goods. So here again, we will come to work with the enforcement officers, maybe or to have meetings with these traders and to ask them to use the markets, to use the stalls. Because at the same time, they are risking their lives, they are being rained on, and we need revenues flow from them. So this is an item to be followed up. I'll do some follow-up if I'll be approved, so that we meet with these traders. We tell them the advantages of using the markets, the stalls, and the disadvantages of selling on the road. And there is a question from Honorable Rokony on economic stimulus project, like the Karanakana stated, which was built in the year 2008. And up to now, 5 or so years down the line, it has not been used. And he's reporting that Bwana Chair, that there are new machines, the latest machines in that Karakana. And Bwana Chair, let me promise that if I will be approved by the committee, I will ensure that this Karakana is put to its purpose, so that at the same time we get revenues for our county. Another question from the same Honorable Rokony Bwana Chair, and about Kapkatet markets, Roret, Kapkelek, Litain, where we have markets, we have stores which are ready, but nobody is using. They are just lying, the facility is just lying, and a lot of money has been injected to that project. So again, if I will be approved with my other officers from the department, and even you MCAs, this is our initiative, all of us, that we also talk to the traders to be using these markets, to be using stalls, because it is reported that the stalls are being used as stores for keeping items, but they are not using for the required purpose. So we will, all of us, we will make sure that we talk to them so that they start using those stores. Then there is an issue on industrialization, on processing plan for maize meal, sweet potato plan, and Honorable Rokony is asking Bwana Chair if these things are viable, implementable. I can report that these things are doable, but at the same time, and we should at some point give our community to be owned by community, so that it goes without failing. At the same time, there is Chuakali shades missing. somebody was asking about Chuakali shades, border shades, Shushaina shades that we are missing in Kericho. But I want to promise this committee that if I will be approved, the first thing is to ensure that we budget for these things, these shades. We put them in our budgets so that we start building and we benchmark from Bomet. I've gone to Bomet severally and you find Chuakali shades and border shades and Shushaina shades are available. There are a few in Kericho. The one along Jericho, there is a shade. I think it's a border shade. And then I don't know if there is one in Kapsoit and where. So there are a few. Maybe there are 3 or 4 in Kericho County. But I promise that if this committee will approve my candidature, I'm going to do. And there is a question from Honorable Maritim Buanachea that there is laxity in collection of revenues from enforcement officers. That I also promise that I will work with other officers to ensure that there is seriousness. There is seriousness in working. Maybe by introducing clock in, clock out, if it is possible. An employee comes in the morning, clock in, and then clock out in the evening. And make sure we follow up the work done during the day. Because maybe somebody may come again in the morning, clock in, disappear, and then come in the evening and clock out. So we'll make sure that we'll follow up the enforcement and officers. We will partner with PSM and finance to ensure that there is no laxity in these men and women who are collecting revenues in our markets. And there is another question from our honorable majority about Kenya Kwanza strategic plan on Mama Mboga. Our mamas who are selling vegetables, bananas outside buildings, on the streets. And Bwana Chair, I want to report that and there is a Hustlers Fund from the national government. And currently we don't know the structure of that money. We don't know where it will come to trade or it will go to cooperative in agriculture. But we will work to ensure that these mamas get their rightful share by giving them their rightful share, so that they also educate their children. I have something also in innovation, and there is a from majority, honorable majority, Bwana Chair, about innovation. As I said earlier, we will ensure that we tap any new knowledge, any new idea from any person within Kericho County. Even the patented items, we'll see a way of doing. Because, and I know it is not possible even to do it alone. We will work with other departments, especially my department, with my other employees, to ensure that we do whatever it is required for the same on patenting. And there is also another question on connecting trade and trade producers or items produced inside Kericho County and others coming from outside the county. For example, maybe eggs, chicken eggs from maybe Uganda, because Uganda is a bit cheap, plus the Kenyan eggs, making Uganda eggs flooding the market. Finally, and making our farmers lose. I want to say, maybe I'll propose that any other item coming from, but again there is international trading and fair trade between Eastern African community. We'll have to see what to do between the policies and what we are supposed to do. Maybe we will challenge the Department of Agriculture, if it is agriculture producers, so that they lower, we subsidize some of these things, subsidy. We give them subsidy so that the production cost comes down. And then, Bwana Chair, and I think that is the end of my answers.
Yeah, the Honorable Paul Chirchir, and then I'll give it to Honorable Anthony, and then Honorable Anita.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Congratulations, Benard Bii, on your nomination to Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism, and Wildlife. You heard the President the other day, his take on value addition. He told the industry players that 95% of our tea go to the auction as processed tea. He has asked the industry players if it's possible, and it's possible, because he has promised to create an enabling environment for investors, manufacturers to do value addition on our tea. As a nominee to Trade Department, how will you help the Kenya Kwanza government as a devolved unit to realize this value addition? Number two, since your docket is also has tourism component, public resources were invested in Chebulu Conservancy. The then governor had promised to bring wild animals, and there was an agreement between the locals and the county, between the locals in Chebulu and the county government of Kericho. Nothing to date has been done, despite resources, public resources, being invested in that venture. What will you do to make sure that Kericho, should you be approved, to make sure that Kericho residents get value for their money? We also have other tourist attraction sites, because we are also looking for revenue for the county. What will you do to the county government of Kericho? Should you be approved about Tuluab Ngetik or Tuluab Kipsigis? Tuluab, it has several names. What will you do about that place? There is another place called Reresik, birthplace in Ainamoy, and quite a number of tourist attraction sites in Kericho. Number three, innovation. For the first time, and I must congratulate the governor, for the first time we have a component of innovation in our county. We have seen our youth, young men and women, innovate, come up with new ideas. We saw a young man from from Kapsoit who has generated electricity, and he was able to distribute. He was even covered on TV, K24. He was able to generate electricity, distributed. He was using the local available materials, distributed to a few of his neighbors. His name is Hilary Chirchir. There are other innovators from several places of our county. What will you do to make sure that we tap into this talent and encourage more innovators? Instead of discouraging them, we encourage them. Will you come up with a policy to support such ventures? And finally, Trade Department is a crucial docket in our county. You know very well, for the past several financial years, for the past almost 3 or 4 financial years, the county government of Kericho, once since the inception of devolution, once met their revenue targets. All the other years, they have not been able to meet their revenue targets. We would like you to tell this committee, should you be approved, what is it that you will do it differently to assist the county government of Kericho meet or even surpass their revenue targets? Thank you, Chairman.
Honorable Anthony.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Bii, congratulations for coming this far. In fact, you really took time to elaborate to us who you are. And really, yours is a strong testimony that no man is limited. Congratulations. Mr. Bii, the docket that you have been nominated to has several components. We have trade, industrialization, innovation, and tourism and wildlife. We are in the 12th year since the inception of devolved units. Always, when you are doing any undertaking, you do it specifically because you want to achieve some specific objectives and goals. As a county, when we do reflection, can we be able to quantify our objectives in each, our achievements in each of those components in trade? Can we be able to quantify our achievements as a county? In industrialization, can we be able to cite some of our achievements in industrialization? The same thing applies to innovation and also tourism and wildlife. You have already talked of Chebulu, and my good friend, my good brother, Honorable Paul Chirchir, has already mentioned the same, that colossal amount of money was put in Chebulu. Can we able to quantify our achievements as far as Kebulu is concerned. Number 2, local revenue collections in our county is wanting. We have what is called mapping of business premises. This one can be done specifically to know the number of business premises that we have, with a good intention of enhancing revenue collection. What plans do you have? If in any case you are given an opportunity to serve as a CEC in this department, so that we can be able to enhance our revenue collection. Number 3, wines and spirits joints. Are mushrooming in every corner of our county. Some have been put up close to schools, close to residential places. And we are aware that there are rules and regulations that govern the same. If you are given the opportunity, Mr. Bii, what plans are you going to put in place to see to it that stipulated rules and regulations are adhered to? The last one. Mr. Bii, we have several marketplaces, like in my place, Kipkelian Town, partially, and maybe also the same case in other places. These marketplaces are operating without public toilets. It is really embarrassing and shameful. After the inception of devolved units 12 years ago, our people do not have where they can relieve themselves, and yet they are paying cess. What plans are you going to put in place, Mr. Bii, to make sure that these very important things are put in place so that our people can be able to have where they can relieve themselves? Thank you, Chairman.
Anita.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Benard Bii, I think you've taken time to share with us what you've been able to do for the last several years. I think my little concern was, we always believe that experience is the best teacher. You've been in the education sector for a long time, and here you want to join the world of business and run this docket of trade, industrialization, innovation, tourism, and wildlife. I see trade, I see success of this department following up with success of our county. And I see a failure of this department bringing struggles in the county. You've managed to share with us some of the things that you feel we can do as Kericho County to be able to succeed. And I know some of the things that have been raised by the committee are issues that if we can put some seriousness when we talk of revenue collections. Before devolution, we used to get some good money. But when devolution came in, there's been a lot of reluctancy, complete failure in the systems. And I think if given this opportunity to serve in this department, my request would be you look into the best ways we can actually do some serious work on the revenue collections in this county. Before I go to revenue, I know we will also ask ourselves, do we have conducive environment for the traders to operate in? And those are things that we know are still a challenge in the county, which maybe you'll share a bit of what are some of the things you do to create a conducive trade and investment environment across Kericho County. Another issue I would like you to look into is maybe to sit down and look at Kericho County and identify some special economic zones so that we put focus, we put energy on areas that we know will actually benefit Kericho, will benefit the people, and we can also now do the right or offer the right trainings based on the need assessment that you would do. We have the micro small enterprises. Apparently there's no capacity building, no mentorship that goes into these micro small enterprises. This is something I would like you to share a bit on. What are some of the plans you will have? Because if we have our small enterprises trained, then they can actually grow and bring more business to this county. On the same spot, when we talk of micro small enterprises, we know they are struggling to get credit, to get capital, to boost or to grow their businesses. Are you thinking of anything that we can do, like a credit scheme that can actually help these micro small enterprises to be able to grow from where they are in over time? And lastly, we've done training, we've given them credit, now they have their products and they want to sell. I don't remember the last time there was an agricultural or there was a show that happened in Kericho County. I don't remember. If it's there, you'll remind me. Because I'm seeing, again, us growing and supporting this small and creating for them some access to the market, maybe by allowing them to participate in the local and even other trade fairs, which I don't remember if we have that. We can also look at trade fairs, their exhibitions, the exchange programs, which I know will also support the innovation that we are talking about in this part. So, lastly, before I forget, we have the trade, the national under the national sector, trade industrialization sector that actually have come to counties and have built some industrial development centers. We call them the CIDCs. I think in every constituency they've done some work. And I'll give you an example of what they've done in Bureti. In Bureti we have two. in different areas that I know. That they built the structures and they left. The expectation was maybe they would get some machineries to do welding or to do different activities. But because there's no enough awareness, no trainings, no support maybe being offered from the county level, those buildings, those structures are still unoccupied. Maybe from where you sit, those are some of the things that we would like to see how we can actually capitalize. We can use those facilities because money has been put into the structures. It's only the usage. There's a link missing between now the micro or Juakali sectors support system that my colleague had mentioned. Thank you. I think one thing I had forgotten on when I mentioned revenue, I've been thinking about as some of the ways we can move about is if we can set targets on this issue of revenue collections. I said yesterday to one of the nominees, if I wake up in the morning not knowing how much I'm expected to do, I can decide to collect 1,000 shillings and close the day and call it a day. If I know that I'm expected to collect in this area of Rorate 50,000, for example, I'll struggle to do that. So maybe some of the things you'll put in place are the targets so that we can actually be able to be guided. And for the public and for us as legislators, of us as we play our oversight role, we actually know that we had a target of this in Rorate, Litein, and was it achieved or not? Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll give it to Cheriot Bett. Meanwhile, the chairman for trade, the Honorable from Cheboy, Chairman Trade, you will also maybe just make a comment. And in the same vein, Honorable Andrew Rotich is here. The Honorable member you alluded to, that you are plucking tea together. We'll also give him a minute to say something and perhaps to confirm whether it's true. And maybe in the same note, you will also talk about the mechanization, about the machines. Now that you are plucking tea, and now that the machines are around, you can also talk about it. Just a minute each. But meanwhile, I give it to Cheriot Bett.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Allow me to take this opportunity to congratulate the nominee for being nominated and appearing before this committee. I know there were a lot of people who had applied for this position. So I want to congratulate you and also commend you for what you've done education-wise. You are a true definition of bottom-up in education, because, and you are confirming and affirming the saying that never despise small beginnings. Going by your CV, I've seen you risen from a certificate, not even a certificate, but from a T Blacker to now a PhD student. So congratulations for such an achievement in terms of education. Secondly, I just want to affirm by law what the honorable member, the only Iron Lady that vied and was voted for Honorable Anita, that going by your CV, you have been a bursar throughout your employment. From 2011 up to now, you've been a bursar. You've been nominated to a very critical department, Department of Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism, and Wildlife. These are departments, if we don't get it right as a county, I can tell you all those other departments will never see the light of the day. Secondly, the County Government Act, Section 35, subsection 3 requires that any appointment to be, for someone to be a member of the county executive member, that person must or shall have knowledge, experience, and a distinguished career of not less than 5 years in the field relevant to the portfolio of the department to which the person is being appointed. Knowledge, distinguished career of not less than 5 years in the portfolio that you've been nominated. Your nomination was made to the Department of Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism, and Wildlife. So convince me that you are the right person for the job given the requirement by the drafters of the Constitution and by extension the County Government Act. Number 3, I also want you to, you've heard that tourism will be under your department. And you've heard the 2 major tourist attractions in our county. 2 of them are in my ward. One is called the Resik. We are receiving visitors and tourists even as now. Baga also is a cave that we used to receive tourists, but the county government has never invested even a single coin on those tourist attraction areas. If you get this opportunity, what practical steps are you going to take so that at least the county government realizes that they have tourist attraction areas? You've had another one from Chebulu, in Sigawet, and several others. Which are these practical steps? What are you going to do it differently so that at least we realize this development? Thirdly, when you go to every center and town, the erection of market, maybe market stalls. In Inamoy, for example, where I represent, we have a market called Inamoy Center. There is a market stall that is not complete. What are you going to do? Are you going to finish these projects that were started by the outgoing regime, or you are going to start new ones in this administration? So I want you to maybe comment on the same. Then finally, the governor has been very passionate about assisting the hustlers in our county. Do you have a structured way of making sure that the governor's manifesto is realized? The governor, in his speech, has said that there will be a revolving fund, and you have confirmed that the governor will be launching a revolving fund. What structures are there in place so that, we had a revolving fund initially? There was a legislation we passed in this county assembly in 2015, known as the Kericho County Enterprise Fund, but it took off once. Nothing has ever been done. What practical steps are you going to take so that Dr. Mutai's administration will have a way of assisting the hustlers on the ground? How will those mama bogas get access to these funds? You have a structure. So if you answer that, you try to convince me why you are the right person for this job. You are a career accountant, because I've seen you been a bursar, and I want to thank you. I came to Chepkosile Secondary seeking for employment in 2012 TSC, but I became number 2. So I think it's good because you're working in the same school. So I want to congratulate you because you've been there all that time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Cheriatbet. Mr. Benard Bii, we have, you are lucky to have a chairman for trade, committee for trade in the assembly. Also, you had mentioned that Honorable Aaron was plucking tea with you. And when he heard about that, he came very fast. I think he's here also. I would like to give them 1 minute each to get a chance to ask questions and maybe make a comment. Honorable Francis, let me give you an opportunity to say something.
Thank you so much, Chairman, and the entire committee of the appointment. And Mr. Benard Bii, I want to congratulate you for being appointed the nominee for trade. I want to wish you the best. My question is, during the first county government or county assembly of Kericho, we did an enterprise fund called Kericho County Enterprise Fund, and the traders of this county benefited from the same, but they never refund the money back. What will be your mechanism which we will employ so that the same cannot happen in future? So I wish you well. Thank you for coming. May God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable.
Thank you very much, the Chair and the appointment committee members. I only want to say pongezi to Benard Bii for being nominated to this to CC trade. The only thing that I want to confirm, as it has been well captured in our answer, that I can remember very well those years that we plucked tea with Honorable Benard Bii. That is those years when we were hustling. And I can confirm, Mr. Chairman, that we used to work very hard with him, and you plucking in Unilever. So and maybe on the issues, he will probably touch on those issues that the Chair had actually said on the issue of mechanization. So I think in my own view, that I wouldn't want to let him even know, but I think he'll also contribute on the same, that we actually plucked tea. Those are the years, probably in the jam estates. And I'm sure that he wouldn't be very happy to see other hustlers suffer the way we are suffering, though it's an encouragement to other members or other hustlers there that they should also work very hard, cars and cars. So definitely, Benard Bii, I wish you well, because actually a humble beginning determines where you are going. So success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We also have our Deputy Speaker. I would like you to say something in a minute. Then,
thank you, Chair. I think mine is just to ask a very simple question to Ben, and that is if you are confirmed to this position of CEC, how committed will you be to serve in this people of Kericho County with the pressures of serving the electorates, and you know everyone will be looking at you, so I want to know if you are committed. So tell this panel if you are committed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. Mr. Benard Bii, let me now give you an opportunity to answer in brief.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I will start with Honorable Tarimbo Paul Chirchir through the Chair, and about value addition. On the process, talked about tea and manufactured tea, and how, if I will be approved, how will I help Kenya Kwanza to realize the value addition item in that agenda? And I will ensure that we support the industries within Kericho. We'll support fully, and if there will be a need, I will ensure.
How will you, Chairman, how will you ensure, when you say, I will ensure, we support fully. You have not said much, Benard Bii. How will you do it, please?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Tarimbo, through the chair. And this is one of the areas that actually need an expert. And as I said, I will ensure that we engage experts on the same. I hope I'm...
Continue, Chair. It was clarification.
Okay. Then number 2, there was an issue on Chebulu Conservancy asked by an Honorable Paul Chirchir that the money, taxpayers' money, was used in Chebulu, and he talks about value for money. And I want to tell the committee that there are plans by the governor and the county government of Kericho to revive Chebulu. I'm told there was an issue of land acquisition. So hopefully that issue of land acquisition will be done. Hopefully it will be done.
Chairman, you know, we have said, should you be confirmed? You know, when you say hopefully, you are non-committal. And as a CEC, the buck stops with you, and we are saying the county government of Kericho put in a lot of resources. And 10 years down the line, nothing is happening. And you know, we are looking for revenue. We are looking for ways of generating revenue. Because whenever tourists, I've been to Chebulu, and it is indeed a tourist attraction center. Even without animals being brought in, the place itself, the trees that are there are ancient trees, old trees, tall as over 30 meters, very, very tall. The caves there, the government, the county government of Kericho put in a lot of money, and yet the arrangement between the locals and the county government of Kericho wasn't very clear. Now, what will you do as the CEC if you're approved to make sure that the county gets, the residents of Kericho gets value for their money, as well as start generating revenue so that we achieve our revenue targets as a county? Because right now, as we speak, the wage bill stands at 41% as opposed to 35%. So we are way above our wage bill by about 6%. So if we identify all these areas, including that one, what will you do as a CEC if you're approved? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tarimbo, Paul Chirchir. I'm now getting you clearly. It is now clear, and I want to promise this committee that if I will be approved, if you approve me, I promise that we will revive Chebulu. I promise that we will do something. We'll ensure that we acquire land, then we make sure it is operational. That Chebulu will give us revenues. Like Imbala in Kisumu. When you visit Imbala today, in a single day, you will find an average of, I think, 1,000 visitors, tourists, in Imbala in Kisumu. And Imbala in Kisumu is charging 300 per head for students, and maybe 500 for adults. So if we go Imbala way in Chebulu, do marketing for Chebulu, when it is up. Go to schools, request the schools that we need to support the county. Students will be visiting Chebulu from all over, from Kericho, from Bomet, from Nakuru. And I can assure you, committee, that you will collect revenues. There is another item from Honorable Paul Chirchir through the chair about an innovation, and he actually touched on one Hillary Chirchir from Kapsoit on how the county or how the CAP and the Department of Trade and Innovation will tap the knowledge or how to support this hustler. And I want to state categorically that because innovation is under trade, is under my department, if I'll be approved, I'll make sure that we tap this knowledge, that we tap these ideas, that we support these hustlers. Because we are here purposely to support our people. Nothing else. I'm not here to go to office and be seen as a CEC for trade. And if I tell you today that if I go to that office, please, if laxity comes, if we go the last regime way of doing things, please, I beg you, impeach me. Because what is our purpose?
Chairman.
Yes.
So the nominee, one Ben Bii, he's committing himself that should he fail to meet the targets, then he be impeached. Did you say that?
Actually, and saying we are here to do this job for the people of Kericho County.
No, did you say that should you not do much, you'll be impeached?
It may not be impeachment, but you can pinch me.
To be pinched?
Yeah, you can pinch me. And there is another item on trade for the last 3 years. That collection of revenue is not meeting the target. Again, I want to promise the House, the committee, that if I will be approved, I'll make sure that we do around the clock to ensure that we meet our revenue collection targets. I promise you. Another item from Honorable Anthony, and he touched on devolution for the last 12 years. That in this Department of Trade, Innovation, Industrialization, Tourism and Wildlife, that there is nothing which has happened much.
Correction, Mr. Bii. The question was, if we can be able to make reflection, can we be able to quantify our achievements as far as those components are concerned?
Thank you, Honorable Anthony, for the correction. And quantification of that achievement of the trade, of the department in general. Each of the components.
For example, industrialization. Can we be able to tell that, or to say, after the inception of devolved units, we have this industry, this one, and this one. And then tourism and wildlife. Can we be able to name 1, 2, 3? The same thing applies to achievements, our achievements in trade.
Thank you. I'm now getting you clearly. And I want to start with trade. That in trade, we can quantify the achievement in trade as an item through markets, seen some stalls, seen some various things going on in trade.
Can you be able to cite them? Can you be able to name them?
And for example, Kericho main stage, Kericho market, Litein market, and other areas. There are markets in those places. Then there is this item on industrialization, which I'm not sure if there is any achievement under industrialization. I don't know. The same thing to tourism and wildlife. Jebulu is down, so I cannot say there is any achievement when Jebulu is not working. It is not operation. It is not operational. And there is also an item from Honorable Anthony through the chair on revenue collection and mapping of businesses, specifically to know the number of businesses and to enhance revenue collection. I'm not sure if the department has done anything about mapping. I'm not sure. But again, I want to promise that if this committee approve my candidature, we will do mapping to know, and this business is doing this and this and this for the sake of revenue collection. There is also an item on wine and spirits, mushroomings in our towns. Some next to schools, residential areas, and churches. I'm not conversant with rules and regulations governing this alcoholic thing. What the Act is saying about alcoholic drinks and substance use.
Chairman.
I don't know about the...
Chairman.
Yes.
Now, Ben.
Yes.
When you're nominated to a docket, that means the governor saw something in you. But you are admitting to the committee that you are unable to do the job that is before you because you do not understand the job, what the job entails. Because when you tell us you do not know how the rules are, you are admitting that you do not understand your job description. Is that the position?
Thank you, Honorable Board Chair.
Chairman, also, maybe
yes,
to add on the same so that he responds to all of them, that I want to know whether the nominees are aware of Trade and Market Act. Because you know the nominee has just said that I do not know the regulation of this alcoholic drink act, and that is the basic thing. In fact, I had a question on the same.
Okay. Nominee, maybe you'll respond to that, and also maybe whether you are aware that one of our wards in Kericho, that is Chilchila, is the home of Aleman, and we can use that as a tourist site and perhaps generate income if it is possible, maybe in terms of marketing, and maybe just an observation. Maybe you can attempt to respond to that so that we can conclude.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Pana Chair. And to these wine and spirits joints, and I'll make sure, and I promise again, that if this House approves my candidature, I will ensure that one, the same wine and spirits shops pays for permits. I'll ensure that they are operating, legally operating. Number two, I'll make sure that the same shops does not operate next to churches or next to schools or next to residential homes. And again, I'll make sure that they don't play loud music.
Yeah, I think that is in order. Maybe the reason why the honorable member was asking you whether you are aware about the act that is in place, I think it captures most of those things. Maybe should you be successful to be nominated, you will need to acquaint yourself with that law so that you can implement by enforcing a number of issues that have been raised here, including the one that the Honorable Cheriot has talked about. I request you to finalize so that we can move over. Any other things that you are supposed to respond? Or,
yeah.
Chairman, finally,
yes.
Just one sentence statement.
Yeah.
About 4 years ago, we lost a life in Kericho because of crude ways of collecting revenue. The county askaris were trying to enforce some collection of revenue. So as they were chasing a brobox, they chased that brobox as far as Konasi through spikes. The motor vehicle rolled several times, killing an old lady who was inside that vehicle. If you will be successful, will you be using all archaic ways of collecting revenue, or you will embrace modern ways of collecting revenue?
Thank you, Honorable Tarimbo Polchechir, through the chair. That again, if this committee approves my candidature, we will use modern ways of collecting revenues. Not using force, chasing people in and out of the markets. We will do in a modern way. Thank you. I've also have something small to answer some questions from Honorable Anita through the chair, and that about small businesses. Those small businesses, and she was asking if we are actually know on how we will come and support them. That we have a revolving fund. We have a slash fund. As I said earlier, we'll come to ensure, if approved to be the CEC for trade, ensure that these mamas, border men, are given credit, are given money for doing their businesses. And then there was a small part of an enterprise fund that was issued in the year 2014 or 2013, I'm not sure. I think it is 2014. And some large amount of money was given out. But now returning the same amount has become a hard. That I promise that if I will be approved by this committee, I will come for you to the Assembly to seek for amendment to the Enterprise Fund Act, so that we insert something about enforcement. Another thing which can be done going forward is to put a clear structure and maybe partnering with bank, like partnering with KCP, so that we give out this credit with a small interest but going through the bank. And I want to answer something about my career and my experience through the chair, and that my work as a school bursar with an experience of more than 10 years working in a public entity, having a knowledge of IPSAS, having that knowledge of audit and audit queries and all those things. I am up to the task. I promise that I will do my best in this department. And lastly, I want to talk about mechanization. A bit on mechanization, about machines. As I said earlier, in 2007, I was among the tea plaggers. So I feel very bad that the same work that I was doing in 2007 now, an hustler like me is not able to plug, is not able to do that work. So as the county government of Kericho, and if I will be approved, I will also stand with my hustlers that we don't need machines currently in the state, and there is a task force already in place looking for the same. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Benard Bii, our nominee for Trade and Industrialization. Honorable members, because of time, maybe your final comments to the nominee in 30 seconds, please. Mheshimiwa Dominic.
Benard Bii, I wish you all the best, brother. Thank you.
A majority.
I wish you all the best, Mr. Bii. Mr. Ben Bii, thanks for the time we've had and success. Asante.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Ben Bii, wishing you all the best in your future endeavors.
Ben Bii, success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the nominee for Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism and Wildlife. It has been a pleasure engaging with you, and you now leave the rest to the Committee of Appointment. As I told you earlier, our work is to vet your suitability for the position that you have been nominated. We have engaged well. Thanks, because from the interaction that we have had, you have been very honest, and I realize that you are a very passionate man when it comes to maybe your work. So I also want to wish you the very best. I want to give you a minute to say something to this committee if you have. If you don't have anything to tell us, then you have something?
Yes.
Please, in a minute.
So, honorable members, through the chair, let me take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you for this opportunity you have given me And again, I want to thank our Governor, His Excellency Dr. Mutai, for nominating me to this docket. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We also recognize the presence of hustlers at the public gallery. I guess you came together, and it's good to see you. Take the message home that we are very objective when it comes to vetting, and we wish the very best the nominee. Sergeant at Arms, escort the nominee, and if there is tea, please serve him with tea and then before he leaves. Thanks. Honorable members, we break for 10 minutes. You can have tea at the Speaker's office, and then we come back.